don't know where you can go with this company. You don't know how big your downline can get. But you got to believe. You got to have faith. You got to be willing to put yourself on the line. Think down the road, past a week, past a month, past a year, and think, where is this going to go if I just keep believing?
Henry Ford said it this way: think you can, think you can't. Either way, you're right. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Belief, raw faith. It's perhaps the most potent and irresistible force on earth. And I can't think of anyone more qualified to tell you about it than the man you're about to hear, Mr. Mike Jackson.
I was thinking about this. I didn't just want to give you another talk. So I wrote some new things that I wanted to share with you. And I started to think, if I could take a dealer kit, and if I could instill into that dealer kit, if I could somehow put into that dealer kit one single characteristic, that I could get the thousands and thousands of new dealers that join our company every month, when they open their dealer kit, it would be just transferred into their life. What might that be? What would that characteristic be? And I had to boil it down to one. And here's what I came up with. Belief. If I could put belief into your hearts and into your lives, if somehow I could take some jumper cables like you have on a car, and I could take the belief that I have and that we have at the home office about where we're going and what our products do. If you could see the belief on our scientific advisory board, people that work with the highest levels of government, what they say about our technology and what it will mean to the families of the future in this very unstable world, in this very dangerous world, in this very unsettled world, what our technology really means. If only I could help you to believe and understand what we feel about this company. I believe if I could put that in a dealer kit and you would open it up and it would come into your life, that your business would explode even more than it is already. We've got some people in the room tonight that have overwhelming amounts of belief. And time after time, I watch their business soar. But we have others that are just starting. And your belief is not strong yet. It can be challenged and it can be wavered very easily. And so if I could bring that belief to you, and that's part of the Success Institute experience. Because part of what you get here is you get that belief system. As you walk through the halls and meet the people and see what's going on, are you not already beginning to see that this is bigger than you and me? That this is something that is even beyond what you thought it was when you began this quest to become part of EcoQuest, Team EcoQuest? That's what this experience does for you, besides the teaching, besides the learning, is it begins the process of belief. Belief forges our decisions. You see, as you begin to believe, it begins to turn into a decision. There's a scripture in the Bible, I actually have it written later on in my notes, in the Old Testament, or in the New Testament, I should say, version, it says, faith without works is dead. In the New Modern words, it might say, belief without action is worthless. You know, I've seen people, for example, in churches that make decisions to change their life, but on Monday morning, nothing changes. It was an emotional decision at a moment and nothing changed. We don't want people to have a belief system that does not cause a change in their actions. And so today, as you begin to believe, I want to encourage you to take it further than an emotional, hey, I'm going to change the world, and actually put that belief, forge it into actions. Now those actions, those decisions, they form a destiny. You see, it was 27 years ago that I began to get a belief system. And that turned into some decisions that I was going to make for my life. And that turned into some actions that I was going to put into my life. And that turned into some habits. And that formed a destiny. I'm pretty convinced that I'd be a bus driver today if I hadn't made a decision based on belief that led to actions 27 years ago. I'm pretty sure I'd be living in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I'd be driving a big red MTC bus, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't have been able to touch so many lives, and we wouldn't have made such a difference, and life would have been very different. And so I'm so pleased that I made some decisions based on a belief and changed some actions, but I'm here today to encourage you to do the same. Belief overcomes the lack of skills. Some of you are questioning your skills. You've seen some very eloquent speakers, haven't you? You've seen some people that can just make this audience come alive. And you begin to question your skills, and you begin to play the measuring game. Could I measure up to that kind of an individual? I'm here to tell you, belief can overcome the lack of experience and the lack of skills. And I've seen it already. I saw it yesterday with new managers that visited my home. There were people that walked through the doors, and they were just babes in this business. But they were just filled with belief. And that belief system they had was knocking down doors, knocking down walls, knocking down new opportunities, making a difference in other people's lives. So belief can overcome the lack of experience and the lack of skills. Belief overcomes the lack of funds. I challenge you to the game of who was the most broke. I was pretty broke. John Bender had that car with the ceiling liner hanging down. He was pretty broke too. There's a bunch of us that were pretty broke. Bob Giddens owed the IRS like $300,000. That's pretty broke. Just yesterday, Barb Catlin came to my house, brand new manager. Barb was a nurse, and she had a stroke, and she couldn't work. She couldn't work for a year and a half. Didn't have any income. Was going to lose everything, including her home. She walked up to me filled with belief as a brand new manager. And she said, "Mr. Jackson, this company saved my home." Man, you know what that made me feel like? Living up on top of that hill, I remember living in that basement apartment. I remember not having an environment that I was proud of for my children. This company can overcome many things, but it's your belief in this company, in this opportunity, in these products that can overcome a lack of funds. You know how many people have written me a letter because their credit was so screwed up, Best Investments wouldn't even touch them, and they said, "I can't do the business"? I'm here to tell you, belief can overcome a lack of funds. You can do it anyway. We'll do our very best through Best Investments to help you get a hand up, but you can do it with or without Best. You can do it with or without funds if you've got enough belief. Belief overcomes a lack of support from our spouse. You know how many people have told me they can't do the business because a spouse wouldn't help them, wouldn't believe in them, wouldn't talk to them, wouldn't let them have meetings, got mad when the phone rang? You know what? Your spouse didn't marry this business. Your spouse married you. And your kids didn't get into this business. If you're in it alone, you're in it alone. And having children or spouses as an excuse for the lack of success is exactly that. It's an excuse. One person said you can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. And that's true. You know what? Sharon Copley, Sharon's sitting right here, aren't you? Sharon Copley's a single mom, got 2 kids, but here's a little gal filled with belief. There's no evidence, there's no reason why she should be successful. She has kids to take care of. She's got a family to feed. She's got a lot of things going on in her life. But her belief in this company, her belief in this opportunity, allowed her to lift herself up, and she came to my home yesterday as a brand new manager. She said, "Let me tell you my story, Mr. Jackson. Let me tell you what it's like as a single mom with 2 kids and what this company has done." Hey, those stories are everywhere. Belief overcomes a lack of support from the home office. You know how many people have said, I can't do the business because the home office hasn't done more for me, or the home office can't do what I expect them to do? There's a gentleman in the room right now. His name is Dinar. Sits right here. He's from Russia. Dinar has limited English language, but he does pretty good. And he went to Russia, to Moscow, and he began to work at this business. And they didn't have any literature in English, and they didn't have any DVDs, and they didn't have any warehouse, and they didn't have any overnight shipping. It's more like 6-week shipping. And it cost a lot of money, like $1,100 for a fresh air machine in Russia, where rubles are tight. You know, not everybody's got a lot of rubles, right? But yet, this gentleman said, I don't need the home office. I'm going to figure out how to get this literature translated, and I'll figure out how to get this DVD translated, and I'll figure out how to get some products over here. And today, his company, his organization, they're moving hundreds of thousands of dollars, or rubles, or whatever it is, of these machines. You don't need, it's important to have a home office, but you can do it anyway if you have enough belief. Whether you're in Russia, or whether you're in California, or whether you're in Florida, wherever you are, if you have enough belief, you'll figure out a way to make this business work. Belief overcomes a lack of upline support. I can't tell you how many people have told me my upline don't help me, so I can't do it. First off, you have 7 managers above you. And if the manager right above you doesn't know what to do, somebody else will. And if you're a big enough pest, if you'll make enough phone calls, if you will bug your upline enough, I'll guarantee you somebody will help you. Debbie and Thomas Nutzel. I don't know if I said it right. Debbie and Thomas bought a unit retail. And nobody would tell them about the business. They'd only tell them they could buy a machine and made a retail profit, and they wouldn't tell them about the business. And Debbie and Tom had to seek out somebody to tell them about the business, and they found Debbie Ratliff. And yesterday, they came to my office, to my home, I should say, as new award-winning managers. You know what? There's an audience full of people like that in this room today. Of people that say, I'm just not going to make excuses. I'm just not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to kick doors down, I'll do what I got to do, and I'm going to find the answer. And I want to tell you, in each and every one of these cases, and in your case too, it's belief that makes the difference, because we act on what we believe. And if we don't believe, we ain't going to do it, folks. If you don't believe, you're not going to go out and pass out them DVDs, and you're not going to go out and pass out those fresh air machines, and you're not going to invite people to conference calls. You only do that. Today, you visit my company, and you visit my home, and you attend these grand conventions, and you think to yourself, oh, things are just wonderful. I'm here to tell you right now today, they weren't always that way. In the early days of our company, it wasn't that way. In the early days of my career, it wasn't that way. I can remember working to get my first dealer. I can remember inviting Tom Stengel and Dave Stern to my home. And you know how important it was for me that they would say yes? That I would be validated? That the decision I made to buy some products and to get a dealer kit and to have a meeting and to make a prospect, man, it was important that they said yes, not just because what I would earn or how much PV I would get. I had to know I made the right decision. Man, I know where you sit. I know how it just pains your heart when somebody turns you down, especially early in your career. You know, I sponsored Tom and I sponsored Dave. They both quit later on. They didn't last the test of time. That was 27 years ago, and they're long gone. They were gone weeks into the program. But you know that since that day that those two people that I so needed to join me, since that day, that sometime next year, in the year 2006, Greg Montoya, the 1 millionth person, will join this company. From two people that I desperately needed to say yes. Now, 1 million people later, you don't know where you can go with this company. You don't know how big your downline can get. But you got to believe. You got to have faith. You got to be willing to put yourself on the line. When things are tight and everything's little and you need everybody to say yes, have a big vision. Think down the road, past a week, past a month, past a year, and think, where is this going to go if I just keep believing? I can remember needing, and I mean needing, to earn my first bonus car. I didn't want to have a car. I didn't desire to have a big fancy car. I needed a car. My car didn't work. And I had to pray that it wouldn't break down with my little kids in the car. And I needed a car. Why do I say that to you? Sometime shortly, or maybe already, based on the retail sticker price, $60 million in bonus cars will have been awarded since that first day that I said maybe, just maybe I could get out of this mess. Maybe I could get me a brand new car. Maybe it's real. Maybe what they wrote down in this book. Right now you're thinking, boy, if I could get my bonus car. I want you to believe even bigger than that. I want you to see a fleet of bonus cars in your organization. I want you to see events at your home where Lincolns and Mercedes and Jaguars and Corvettes and Escalades are pulling up from all directions, and the neighbors are saying they must be selling drugs. That's all right. I remember the first airplane ride to San Francisco, an incentive trip. I remember having to earn 3,000 PV in my last month to become a manager. In 3,000 PV, Sales Manager Summit, it seemed like Mount Everest. It was filled with slippery slopes. Every time I tried to get up, it seemed like somebody wouldn't buy, or somebody wouldn't join, or somebody would quit, or somebody would bring something back. And I just didn't know if I could get up those slippery slopes to get to the top of Sales Manager Summit, 3,000 PV. Do you know that long ago, this company passed the mark of $1 billion in sales, and the day will come, mark my word, that it'll be $1 billion annually? What am I trying to do with you here today? I'm trying to help you understand. I started out just where you were and where you are, and this business works. This is not some sort of a pipe stream. This is not some sort of a sales job. This is not some sort of a gimmick. The people that have walked before you across this stage already are honest people. They're people that work hard, and they earn every penny. And they didn't get up here and tell you an inflated story. You've heard the truth. This business can work, and it does work for countless families, and it can work, and it will work for you. Unadulterated, raw, undiluted, sold-out belief is what carried my wife and I along this journey for 27 years, and belief will take you to your new destiny. I'm going to ask you today, as you go to your hotel, some of you are going to campgrounds. That's how limited our hotels are. Some of you are going 60 miles and 70 miles tonight just to get a good night's rest, because we don't live in a place where there's high-rise hotels. I told the group last night at Creating Wealth from Home, by golly, we'll build the hotels. We don't need to have hotels. But I want you to have belief in the EcoQuest way of doing business. I want you to believe in our 7 principles. I want you to believe in this leadership team. I want you to know that this team, every single day, every single time, The decisions that we make have absolutely the best interest of your life and your business at heart. Doesn't mean we'll make everyone perfect, but that we try dearly to do the right thing. I want you to believe in our future together and believe in the products. When I first began my journey, one of the very first things that I did is I already commented on it a moment ago, I began believing in my company's products. And I think that's so important today. We don't have a lot of time, but we're not an air purification business anymore. We're much bigger than that. We're a healthy living technologies company. And I can tell you that when I get up in the morning, before 8 o'clock, I've used dozens of products in my home. I've used products from the bathroom and from the laundry room and air purification and water purification and invisible gloves and hair care and E3 and the nutritionals and the skin care. And I use it all. And I believe in it all. And I promise you this. If there were products in our catalog that I didn't believe in, we would remove them. Now there is a principle, and I learned it 27 years ago. That principle is simply this. The people with the deepest seated belief in the technology, the people with the deepest belief in the products from the catalog, over and over again, are the people that have the highest PV, they have the highest recruiting, they have the highest checks, and 27 years ago I made a decision. And the decision was simple. I was going to short-circuit the system. I was going to figure out, why should I wait to become a master manager? Why should I wait to become one of the big guys in the business to use all the products? And so I began early in my career. And it's an absolutely true story. And by the way, there's an old saying in our industry that, some people are using up their last quarter of a bottle of shampoo from the drugstore. Other people are becoming managers. Think about it. You see, I decided a long time ago, 27 years ago, I went out to a business meeting and I built my belief system up. And I said, all right, Mike, you have no choices here. You can drive a bus or you can change your life. You can go into business for yourself and you can change your life. And they told me that I should take all of my competitive products and put them in a brown paper box. Brown cardboard box. Well, my wife wasn't at that meeting. So I got the little bit of paycheck that I had, and I bought all the products. And I came home, and I got home 10:30 at night, and Nada was already sleeping. And if you ask her, she'll tell you it's true. I went into the bathroom, and I took our toothpaste, and I took our hair care products, and I took all the products in there, and I put them in a brown paper box, and I put these new products in there. And I went into the laundry room, and I took our products from there, and I put our new products in there. And I went systematically through the house, took those products and put them in a box and put them away, and then Nada got up the next morning. That was an interesting day. She didn't have a choice. She had to use the products, and we did use the products. And we began from the first day using our products from top to bottom. And I tell you right now, if you come to my home, I have what I call an eco-certified home. I'm eco-certified from top to bottom, and I don't do it because I'm selling the products. I don't do it because I'm demonstrating the products. I do it because I believe the products that we carry improve the quality of people's lives. When I get up in the morning, I put my invisible gloves on. Why do I do that? I can't afford to get the flu. I can't afford to get sick. So I go over to my cabinet. Every single morning, I've got a bottle like this at my house. I've got a bottle on my desk. And I put my invisible gloves on every single day. Greg, I put it on 4 times a day. Because I can't afford not to have an invisible barrier on my gloves. Let me ask you a question. When you go to a restaurant and you pick up a bottle of ketchup, who's touched that before you? And what do they have on their hands? How many people have touched that bottle of ketchup before you got there? Do you think they wash it every night? You see, I've got invisible gloves on. And for 4 hours, I've got a barrier that protects my hands. And if a germ or a flu or a virus touches my hands, the ingredients in my invisible gloves kills it. And I believe that this is a very important product. When I went to Asia, when I walked down the streets, not only did I have my invisible gloves on, but I had my buddy around my neck. Because it builds an invisible barrier around my breathing zone and allows me in a crowded subway or in a taxi cab or in a restaurant to protect my breathing zone. When I get up in the morning, I take the big four, that I call them, from the Infinity 2 line. I take my Immune Plus, I take my Total Flora Support, I take my Digestamil, I take my Essentials for Life, and I wash those down with some TED. Why do I do that? Because I believe we've gone any shadow of a doubt that I get more value to every cell of my body from every meal I eat if I put those products into my body. I don't care if I'm eating a Big Mac or if I'm eating a big salad. I get more value from every meal I eat. I'm not going to try to change the world. I'm not going to try to make people into vegetarians. I'm not going to try to make people into vegans. I'm going to let people eat the way they want to eat. They can decide what books they want to read and what websites they want to look at and what classes they want to go to, and they will eat the way they want to eat, no matter what we say. But here's what I can do. I can help them to understand that we have $1 million research projects, $1 million machines that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you take the products and put them with that meal into your body, you'll get more nutrition, you'll get more value transferred into every cell of your body. Folks, this is the most fabulous nutritional product line, in my opinion, on the planet today. And I've taken nutritional supplements for a good part of my life. I took nutritional supplements for 16 years every day. I drank pure water every day. I exercised every day. And you know what? I couldn't drink a glass of water without getting acid reflux, without having to take Tums or Rolaids. I was sick. The inside of my body was sick. I wasn't digesting my food properly. Ed Hoyt got a hold of me, and he sat me down. He said, Mike, I want you to take the Total Flora Support to rebuild the positive, good bacteria in your digestive tract. I want you to take the Digestamil. I want you to take the Essentials for Life, and I want you to take them with every single meal from here on out. Folks, it didn't take but 3 months. That was almost 5 years ago. I've not taken a Tums or a Rolaids. My digestion is better than it's been. In 5 years, I'm healthier, I'm younger today than I was 5 years ago. These products work, and they'll work for you. Does it make you uncomfortable that I'm not talking just about fresh air? It shouldn't. Because fresh air alone is not what's needed to help people live better, healthier lives. They need to digest their food. They need to have clean, pure water. They need to have proper nutrition. They even have to have proper nutrition on their skin. We're a complete package. Now, if you're in this business to make money, it's very simple. If you use more products, if you believe in more products, you'll make more money. Somebody in the room says, well, I'm not sure that I can afford to take the Essentials, to take the Digestamil, to drink living water, to use the Essentials for skin. Let me tell you something. You can't afford not to, because your income will proportionately go down on every single product you do not put into your life and build a belief system around. And you can't build a belief system on these products unless you use them. You can't be honest about this business if you're sharing these products with other people unless you use them. And so I'm not trying to get you to buy more products. I'm trying to help you earn more money, to be more successful, to build a bigger business, to be a more effective recruiter. This is simple. I began 27 years ago with a commitment. I'll be faithful and true to my product line. Every time I sit down with somebody and talk to them about the technology, about the products, I will talk about the things that I do every single day. That's my recipe for your success, is get with the program. Fall in love with the products. The Fresh Air family of products, there's nothing like it. I am so excited about something that happened to me just today. People in the back room are probably in a panic. They're saying, Mike, you're supposed to be done. Too bad. The Fresh Air family of products. See, the Fresh Air family of products are a line of products built around space-certified technology. Let me be clear about something. There's other companies that have gotten wind of what we're doing. There's other companies that have gotten wind of our technology. This has happened over the last 10 years, over the last 10 days, over the last 10 months, and it'll happen for the next 10 years. We are the clear leader in the field, and they are going to copy us. They're not going to copy some also-ran. They copy us because we're the leader. They use things like, well, we've got space technology too. Well, not according to the NASA-affiliated Space Foundation. Okay? This is the exclusive residential air purification technology in the whole world, on the globe. This technology, this RCI technology, what we have, was developed by NASA in outer space. Now, I have researched this very carefully. I'm standing before you, and there's tapes going, and there's tape recordings. I'm not going to say to you what I'm saying right now if it's not true. This technology was developed by NASA with $1 billion budget in outer space to purify air in spacecraft, to kill microbes in spacecraft. We took that technology and we advanced it. We took it far even greater than what NASA did years ago. And today we use 4 precious metals, we use a special UV process, and we create friendly oxidizers, we create hydroperoxides. But listen, some people have doubted me. And some people have said, I'm not sure about that stuff, you know. Well, sir, well, ma'am, let me read you something from the paper today. Okay? Listen to this. This is the article, and this was from the National Academy of Sciences, and I just got this today. Here's what it says. It says, new, improved, 20% more cleaning power. That could be the label on the new smog-reducing product found in the Earth's atmosphere. Natural chemicals in the air scrub away pollution more effectively than previously thought, according to new research. Chemicals in the air produce natural air cleaners called hydroxyl radicals. They gobble up smog hydrocarbons and break them down. These chemicals have turned out to be better than expected at producing a substance Mr. Clean would love. Hydroxyl radicals. They consist of 1 oxygen atom and 1 atom of hydrogen. Thanks to an innovative laser technique that has allowed us to observe these chemicals in action, we now theorize that the atmosphere may produce up to 20% more hydroxyl from these chemicals than we once thought, says this guy from Purdue. Listen, this laser technique gives us a fresh peek at the molecules that produce hydroxyl radicals. The scientists found a hidden chemical called some big name that ends with hydroperoxides. Have you heard that before? Hey, we've been saying this for what, now a year? If somebody tells you that they have space-certified technology, all they're doing is trying to piggyback on what we've done. We are the exclusive, lifetime, space-certified technology using this process developed by NASA. This is the 21st Space Symposium, which was conducted April 4th through the 7th. I want you to look inside. It says, nature-inspired, space-certified, family-approved fresh air by EcoQuest. The bottom line, folks, is that tonight I'm going to ask you to believe with me, to walk out of here with that unadulterated, undiluted, raw faith. Believe in our mission. Our opportunity and our products are changing people's lives. And the story that I told you already is the story that is duplicated and repeated over and over of people in this room. These were only 3-4 stories of people that happened to show up at my house yesterday. People that happened to show up. I could have written down 60 stories yesterday, but I wrote down a few because there's the stories of life. Our products and our opportunity are changing people's lives. Believe in our future together. Believe in our mission. Believe in our philosophies. This might not be politically correct with you, but believe in a God that loves you. Believe in a God that instilled value and instilled strength and instilled skills and instilled a giant in you that's just waiting to get out. Believe in yourself. See, that was my biggest problem 27 years ago. I couldn't believe. I believed in my opportunity, but I couldn't believe in myself. I didn't think that I could do it. I didn't think that I was worthy. The D's and the F's in school, the late payments on the credit cards, the failures that were just heaping upon me made me feel like I couldn't do it. Well, I'm here to tell you, I could do it, and I want to tell you something else. I believe in you, and I will believe in you until you achieve your dreams. God bless you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you way up there in the balcony. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The proceeding has been an